In our last episode, we had a little celebration in Zihuatanejo. This time around, we hop back and forth between Ixtapa and Zihuatanejo and get ourselves ready for another big push down the coast toward Central America.
We caught a fish! We finally caught a fish! It's been hundreds of miles. There's no fish. And it's a baby. It's a baby one. Getting dizzy.
We threw that guy back, but they just kept on coming. It was a fishing machine.
This is so exciting.
Well, bright and early this morning, we left Zihuatanejo and made a short little hop around to Ixtapa. We're actually at Isla Grande, which is just outside of Ixtapa. And we came here for a couple of reasons. First, and most importantly, I wanted to go surfing, and there's good surfing right over here. So we came. But actually, even more importantly than that, we needed to make water. And the Bay of Zihuatanejo, we can make water there. Technically, we'd be fine, but it's kind of funky. So might as well go somewhere where the water's not funky to make water. So we came here.
And get coconuts. We needed to get coconuts. That's one of the most important things. Coconuts.
Yeah, there's a beach with coconuts over there. But on the way, Brenda caught a couple of fish. She got some bonito, which generally aren't considered the best eating fish in the world. But if you eat them while they're fresh, they're pretty darn good. So tonight, it's sushi night with Greg and Marga and Dogfish. In just a few days, Greg and Marga and Dogfish would be heading north for hurricane season, just as we're heading south. And a little fresh fish? Well, it's a good enough reason as any to spend a little time with these folks before parting ways. Alright, the other reason we're here is to scrub the bottom. Got tools. The water in Zihuatanejo is sort of funky. It's a bit of a hot spot. Doesn't matter how good of a paint job you got on the bottom of the boat. Stuff grows fast. We were anchored there for 4 days. We got a bunch of barnacles. And we got a good paint job. So today, we're scrubbing the bottom because in a few days we need to start moving south. Go a lot faster with a clean bottom. We've actually only got about a month left on our Mexican visas, and we've got about 600 miles to cover and a whole lot of stuff to see. So speed is key. Scrubbing. See ya. And after all the chores are done, well, of course, it's time to go play. From the anchorage at Isla Grande in Ixtapa, it's about a 5-minute dinghy ride to some pretty good waves. So, you drop the hook just outside the surf line, then paddle for about 30 seconds, and then you're hanging 10. Well, good news and bad news. Good news, surfing was great, but I only caught 3 waves because my leash popped out. Broke right out of the board. Might be the end of surfing for a while for me. Bummer! That's where it's supposed to go, right in there. Popped right out. Since that was going to be the end of surfing for a while, we made the short hop back to Zihuatanejo. We made it back to Zihuatanejo. We stayed in Ixtapa, Isla Grande for just a couple of days, long enough to make some water, scrub the bottom, do a little surfing, and Brenda got a bunch more coconuts! I can't believe it! We have to have so many coconuts! So we got back to Zihuatanejo yesterday. We're going to be here for just a couple of quick days. Actually, we got here on a weekend, so we can't check out with the port captain until Monday, which is alright, because we've got a couple of things to do. Need to pick up some provisions. We still want to check out a little more of town, but beyond that, on the sail here from Ixtapa, which is only about 12 miles, we started getting funny noises from our steering. And if there's one thing we don't like, it's funny noises, especially from steering. So today, gonna dig into it and see what we can figure out. This boat has hydraulic steering. We've got 2 steering stations, one inside, one outside, and the one inside was actually clunking yesterday. I don't know why. It's never done it before. So, gonna see if we can figure this out. And even though there was a bit of a clunk coming from this helm pump, I just couldn't find anything wrong with it. So, under the floor we went. Alright, this is our garage. This is underneath the floor of the cockpit. It's a big storage spot, and this is where all of our steering gear lives. I checked our hydraulic pumps at the helms, and those seem to be pretty fine. But down here, this is the hydraulic cylinder, which actually steers the boat, or actually pushes the rudder, which steers the boat. I rebuilt this cylinder about 20,000 miles ago, something like that, but on the back end of it, there's what's called a trunnion nut, and it actually loosened up just a tiny bit. So, with the cross swell like we had coming in here, we were getting a little bit of a clunk. When the autopilot was trying to push right, then push left really fast on the rudder, there's a little bit of a jump at this trunnion joint right here. So, tighten it up. Seems to be working here in the anchorage. We'll find out tomorrow when we're back at sea. Crossing my fingers. And you guessed it, with the chores done, it's time to check out more of Zihuatanejo. There's our house down there.
It's really hot here. There's a lot of humidity and you sweat continuously. But other than that, it's amazing.
Do you like sweating continuously?
Not continuously. It would be nice to have a periodic break, but it is a fun little city, so it's worth all the sweating.
And with all that sweating, right in the center of town, there's a pretty great museum where you can learn a little about the region's history. From the museum, it's a pretty easy walk to one of the best central markets we've seen in all of Mexico. We've been hanging around with Dogfish for like 2 months now, and they're leaving us tomorrow!
You're leaving us.
You're leaving us!
That's what happened.
We set the direction, and so you guys...
I told you earlier this is how he deals with pain. He's gonna lash out.
Oh, yeah. You're laughing.
I'm saying the James gets to say we're...
See you guys. We'll miss you.
We'll miss you guys.
We're leaving Zihuatanejo.
Once we checked out with the port captain, of course there was one more round of farewells. And just like that, SV Dogfish took a right out of the anchorage and we're heading north for hurricane season. And us, well, we took a left. Right before we parted ways with Dogfish this morning, Marga gave us a parting gift. Ding dongs! I love ding dongs!
Delicious.
She swore that these would be great passage food, and we'd think about her the whole time we were eating it. Which I'm not gonna lie, I think it's pretty great passage food.
We love treats.
Thanks, Marga. We love them. And that's about it for this episode. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.